Hello friends, welcome to Dr. Ved channel. I am Dr. P.R. Patel, Professor Head Veterinary Medicine. We have already seen amphistomiasis part 1 2. Here we will see amphistomiasis part 3. Dear student, please remember this. My video will be in little bit detail, but not much detail, because I want that you should compete very nicely with intelligent student in competitive examination. So I am giving a baseline. Regarding giving information, I almost cover everything. So requested to see my video. It is very much helpful to you for appearing the competitive examination. In this amphistomiasis part 3, we will discuss diagnosis, postmortem lesions, differential diagnosis, treatment, prevention and control of very important endoparasitic disease, that is amphistomiasis. First we see diagnosis. Certain historical background is also important history. That is occurrence of amphistomiasis in a particular area and places near water lodging area. So when they are frequently occurring particular area, diagnosis become very easy. Second, history occurs almost every year during warm dry season after heavy rain and presence of planoidal snails in an area. That is also an indication of amphistomiasis. Supported by clinical signs, emaciation, severe enteritis. Here there is no fever. That is important differentiating feature. And diarrhea is there. The confirmation of amphistomiasis can be done by gross examination of the feces. In acute cases, there are presence of immature flukes in fluid feces. That is also a confirmatory diagnosis. In acute cases, immature flukes is present, but eggs are not there because immature remain immature. They have not even matured. So immature flukes cannot lay egg. So eggs will not be present in the feces. On microscopical examination, presence of large number of a typical amphistome egg are seen. Now amphistome eggs property is the eggs are composite and transparent eggs. Eggs are thin celled and oval in shape. Characteristic is there is a distinct operculum with a small knob at the opposite end. This is the diagnostic feature of amphistome egg. Distinct operculum with a small knob at the opposite end. And these eggs are comparatively larger. On postmortem, the gross lesions are there is ascites. Ascites means accumulation of fluid into peritoneal cavity. There is hydropericardium, accumulation of fluid in pericardial cavity. There is a presence of adult amphistomes in rumen wall, confirmatory diagnosis. Presence of adult amphistomes attached to the wall of the rumen. These amphistomes are conical or pear in shape. pink in color. They are large, about 1 centimeter. There is a hemorrhage on the wall of the rumen. This is a diagnostic. And the immature worms are in the duodenum. And there is duodenal thickening with fibrocatarrhal inflammation. And immature flukes are found in the wall of the duodenum. Microscopic lesions are the immature flukes are seen in deeper layer of the mucosa of the duodenum and ileum. And immature flukes are also seen in the wall of the gut as other part of the intestine also. Differential diagnosis. There are large number of diseases which causes diarrhea, emaciation, bottle jaw, and other things. So all diarrheal cases are required to be differentiated. But some of the cases are very similar to emphystomiasis. Jones disease is a chronic disease where there is a shooting diarrhea, refractory diarrhea, no improvement in diarrhea, animal is going to die, and the feces contain bubbles, very chronic. Bacterial enteritis, generally there is diarrhea also, but here in bacterial enteritis there is presence of fever. Whenever there is infection, bacteria or viral, there is presence of fever. Nematodal infestation, called the parasitic gastroenteritis, that can be differentiated by examination of fecal sample, and in that by examination of eggs of the worm can differentiate the parasitogastritis and emphystomiasis. Treatment. Treatment is effective specific drug will definitely cure the case. This is the specific drug, very important. The drugs are bithionol sulfoxide, resorantol, niclosamide, niclofolan, oxyclosanide, hexachlorophene. These drugs are very specific. This resorantol and oxyclosanide are the drug of choice because it kills both immature and mature emphystomes. Remember this thing. Resorantol and oxyclozanides are the drug of choice. For those and other things, requested to refer standard book and according to the specification of the manufacturer. The specific anthelmintic will cure the case. But if certain other symptomatic treatment is given, there will be early recovery and fast recovery. Animal gain the production. So symptomatic treatment is also required. We have seen that there are symptoms, diarrhea, treatment of diarrhea, treatment of anemia, treatment of bottle jaw condition, correction of dehydration by fluid therapy, treatment of anorexia, treatment of emaciation, and generally such parasitic cases require nutrient diet that hastens the recovery and supplement with vitamins and mineral mixture can speed up the recovery and animal become normal in a minimum time. We see here prevention and control. You can understand the prevention control if you understand the life cycle and epidemiology. So I told you that life cycle and epidemiology is very important to get thorough knowledge about the prevention and control. So here, avoid grazing of animals near the area of pond, tank, pool and bank of river, because these areas contain plenty of planormid snails and they spread the infection. Prevent the access to natural water sources. Fencing of external water resources. As far as possible, avoid these natural water resources because they contain infection. Provide wholesome water supply at convenient places. Very important step. In the pasture or nearby, provide this wholesome water supply that is without infection and very nearby places. So animal has not to go to the pool or tank or pond. Another important step, proper drainage of water pools and swampy area that can reduce the population of snails. Snail control, very important step because snails are the intermediate host. Snail can be controlled by chemical method, mechanical method and biological control. Very important step is regular prophylactic deworming. That is a solid treatment, solid prevention, solid control. Generally deworming done before the peak season of infection so that infection can be minimized on the pasture. Sometimes deworming done at two times before the peak of infection that reduces the pasture contamination and after the peak infection that keeps the animal normal throughout the life or throughout the year. Certain management practices work very well. During outbreak, remove the animal from infected area whenever there is an outbreak. And best is intensive system of raising, feeding and watering inside the farm. That is the most effective method of prevention and control. So snail control, regular prophylactic deworming, and intensive rearing system of the management can bring the infection to a zero level. Friends, share this information to other veterinarians and veterinary students. Requested to subscribe to promote the channel. Thank you very much for observing this video. With this, we are concluding the disease amphistomiasis. Next time we'll come with another video on another disease. Thanks.